You ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're watching us on Broadway World. You're over here on the Broadway Podcast Network. And I'm really excited about our next guest because I think she's the most gorgeous guest I haven't been in. Look, I don't even deal with women. I have a husband.
I
Ella,
know
Ella
he's
Thomas, you're
cute.
beautiful. Soup model, extravaganza to all over the world. Runways, magazines, photo shoots, done, beat down. She just shows up in her house like, boom, look at her.
He says all that, but he does not know that in the interim, I set up lights in every corner of this room because without it, I would have been a raisin with just teeth and eyeballs, which nobody.
I don't believe that for 1 second. 1 second.
It's true. It's
You
true.
inspire me.
I would show you the room, but then it would all fall apart.
I don't believe you. I
I'll take a
don't.
picture. I promise you, I'm going to take a picture after this and
Okay.
send it to you how rigged everything is, including, I think, my bun, which could fall apart
No, I
at any
don't.
given
I don't
second.
believe you. You are amazing to me because you are a model. Like if you go on your website, you are like a real model. Not like a model that like hands out Coors Light at a bar on a Friday night, or not like a
Which we still respect.
no,
But
I'm no
still
shade to
very
that. I mean, I'm with it. I wish someone would hire me to do something like
You
that.
know, they just come for us so fast these days, so we have to put a disclaimer on it.
I know, you're right. But what I'm saying is like you are a model agencies, but hired model. Like you are, and then and much like singers that want to act, actors that want to sing, models that want to dance. Like you have this idea to make movies. You don't just star in movies. You're not just an actress. Like this is your movie.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing that you get because you are a performer and I've seen what you've done, so you are all encompassing in every sense of the word. I realized a few years ago that this industry is changing, and this thing that I've loved for so long is contracting and shrinking, and I felt like I had to carve out a space, or I wasn't going to be able to do this thing that I have loved since I was a child, before I could even really articulate what it was, the wanting to perform in the living room, to grabbing a hairbrush, putting my mom's slip on my head, to all of that. I didn't know what that thing was, which I think a lot of people, if you don't have a family that has a background in the arts or creative fields, you just kind of try and find your tribe. And it took me a really long time to find my tribe because I grew up in Germany. I moved to the States. I had a German accent at first, which really allowed me to blend in, looking like a giraffe with an accent. Just,
No
you know,
way.
all
Well,
the things.
I read that you were from Germany, and I read that like you kind of got into this business. Like you had a moment where you met Brenda Hampton at a charity event, and like you had this journey to I'm moving my seat. This is she bragged about how professional and magical I am, and I am not.
And then my computer shut down. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you. We're back. And I've been the most unprofessional host. I'm an unprofessional guest. I'm an unprofessional. Everything I do has become unprofessional here on this show. You don't even want us to edit this out.
I don't, because so much gold happened in that. I I mean, I wish that I was mysterious and cool. Like in my mind, I feel like I could be like an Angelina Jolie if I could learn not to talk as much, but I haven't gotten there. So this is so on brand.
No, well, this is on brand for me. I tell people who watch my show that you love this show because you like a messy show. Like if you like a mess and we just roll with the punches, then this is the show for you.
No, I don't, it's not that it's mess. What's beautiful about it, which I have learned, because you know how we're all told to be authentic and let's keep it authentic. For years, I've prided myself and I'm authentic and I show up with my best self. But what I didn't learn is that authentic doesn't always mean truthful,
Mm.
because truthful means that you live in the messy and you live in the vulnerability and you allow people to see that. And so I rather lean into the truth of I don't always get it right and I make mistakes and it's not perfect. And that is how I want to show up. Authentic isn't is an aspirational idea in and of itself to me.
I
And
get that.
right? So
I
that's
get
why I'm
that.
like, no, leave it all.
Look, you know what it is? We're not perfect and nobody's going to be perfect and we can and that goes for all art. So if it's I'm singing a song, if you're sending in a self-tape, if you're editing your film, like we're all going to make mistakes. We're all humans. And sometimes when I talk to people who are like you, who have television credits for days and movie credits and I feel the pressure to show up and do the best job that I can. And you probably feel that way when you walk into a room to meet with producers or directors. And we're just human beings trying to get through the day.
And the best part about it is when we're not so constricted by trying to get it right. It really is where all the magic happens, where all the ideas live. It's in the unknown. And unfortunately, it takes so long to learn that, right?
Yeah,
Like we're
so
so
long.
hard on ourselves for so long when we're like, oh, that's what everybody meant.
And
Time to
absolutely.
stop, right?
So let me ask you this question. Yes, Germany, and you're growing up, and the Gap, and the L'Oreal, and the Tiffany's and Co. And then you go into acting, and then yeah, you've been with blockbuster movies, TV shows, Bruce Willis, and Emmy-winning shows, and all of this stuff. What makes, and you said you wanted to get out of the box, you didn't want to be stuck in the place where you were going to not be able to have a career, not be able to get work. But it's one thing to do that, but it takes a lot of courage to make a movie, and it takes a lot of money, time. Where did you find the chutzpah, for lack of a better word, to make this?
Well, chutzpah, I mean, it comes from I'm the child of an immigrant. I mean,
Yeah.
you're raised with the idea of why not? You have no choice but to put one foot in front of the other. And in terms of this specific project, the director, Perdell Richardson, and I had met on one of our first projects when we both started in the business. It was a little short film that we did in New Orleans. And we both had the same kind of idealized version of what Hollywood was, what the industry was going to be, and what we wanted to aspire to, and the stories we wanted to tell. And we always stayed in contact. And when we would have downtime, we'd make little projects on the side. And then, life comes along, you get married, you have kids, and we kind of had a little bit of a drifting apart. But during the pandemic, we started talking again, and we said, like, we want to make a movie. We had the script, but then the pandemic happened, and then the strikes happened, and then we said, if we don't do it now, we're never going to do it, because there's always going to be a reason why not.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 2024, he got all the equipment together, got the actors, we got the script, we did it. We self-funded the whole project, and the way we managed to do it is we raised the money, and depending on how much money we raised, and say in a 2-week span, we could either get the hospital location, which was Heritage Studios in the Valley. If we didn't raise a lot of money, we're doing all car interiors. If we had, a certain amount to raise for a certain amount of time, we could do the restaurant. But we kind of never knew what scenes we were shooting because we didn't know what location we could afford.
Odd.
And that's how we made this project and edited as we went along. And about 3/4 of the way through, Gravitas found us, Gravitas Ventures, our distribution company, found us and really started championing us. They stayed behind us. They were like, keep us informed. So we were in the unique position of knowing that we had someone that already wanted us and we weren't done yet, which is unheard of. I still am a bit in awe of how this all kind of came together for us, because there's so many people that make movies, there's so many people that have amazing projects, but there's this gap in the information of when you have this movie, what happens after that? And it is that's a learning process. There's a school for that in and of itself, that it was like sink or swim. I just kind of learned it as I went along. But I think that's where so many filmmakers get held up. It's like you have this great story, you make this great project, and then what? That's the hard part, not the actual even making of the movie.
Well, that's what I find. Yeah. What I've learned by talking to filmmakers like you on the show and talking to a lot of people who start out with an idea, try to make an independent film, try to think, is the distribute. You can make a movie. You could make a movie in your backyard. You could do it, and you could come up with a script and you could hire actors. But to get the movie out, to get it distributed, to get it seen is such a big accomplishment. I hope you're really proud of it. Can you tell us what is the movie about?
No Mercy is about a man who has been walking the earth for 600 years. He's immortal and he is trying to find out why he's here. And what I loved about it was that it's at its core, it's about someone trying to find their purpose. And I think that's a universal theme. We're all trying to figure out what it is that we're here for. For him, he's gone through centuries and he's lost love and he finds love and he loses his direction. He finds it again, but it all culminates in him realizing why that his purpose was love. His purpose was to reconnect with that part of him that had forgotten how to see the world with grace and kindness, because it's very easy, I think, especially in the current climate,
Mm,
to lean into darkness, to lean into bitterness, to lean into anger. It's been shown that unfortunately, discord and hate and discontentment bonds people more than joy and happiness. And what I liked about being involved in this project is that I'm a delusional optimist at the end of the day. You have to be, you have to walk with buoyancy because there's too many things that will get in the way of your joy, that get in the way of your happiness. So it has to be an active choice to walk in the light and understand that my happiness and my joy shouldn't come to the detriment of somebody else's. That however I choose to live, that is my choice and shouldn't then negate somebody else's choice and how they need to live. And I think those are the stories that are always going to appeal to me from the time I was young. I feel like now as an adult, I look back and I'm like, oh, that's why I liked Star Trek.
yeah.
It was a world beyond this one where luckily I wasn't raised with a lot of the constrictive ideas that I think are pervasive in the United States. I came from Eritrea where, in our books, you're from the descendants of kings and queens, and my mother spoke 5 languages. It's just I had a different cultural background. So
Right.
when I looked at Star Trek, to me, of course I could go to space. Of course, I believed in the idea of the otherness being all-encompassing, but being welcomed into it. And I think Gene Roddenberry was so far ahead of his time,
Yeah.
casting in ideas. And when you watch it back, the messaging underneath it of acceptance versus, an idea of dominance of a species it forecast of a world in which he thought we could all be better and do better.
Well, that's
God,
what you're.
I am running my mouth.
No, that's what your film is going to do. And that's what everyone, while we're talking, it's on February 18th, everybody. You can get it on all digital platforms. It's got a killer cast. It's got an amazing story. And it's to me, it's already won grand prize awards at different film festivals. It's already won audience awards, which means that people are enjoying it. It already has been lauded at film festivals of people of color to urban film festivals to just regular good old everybody come see the movie film festivals have been.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to come see the movie. I was planning, it's funny that you're here because I was planning, I try to be political, but I don't be political. And I I think we all have to be political in these days.
Wonderful.
So,
I want to have you back for a longer chat, even about, you're an immigrant, you come here from your immigrant parents, you born somewhere else. And, I teach immigrant students, and we all have these like stories, and then we're literally being attacked if it's people of color, queer community, women, out here in these streets. And then art and artists are literally the lifeline to telling these stories and keeping hope alive and telling the truth, because we can't always trust that the truth is being told. But if you look in history, the work that you're doing, the work that we're all doing here in art is so valuable and important, because it's going to document the times we're living in. And you're showing, it may not be in this current time, but what life is like, humanity is like. And I hope you know, Ella, that it's so important, and what you're doing is so a blessing and a prayer for so many people, even if it's just to sit home on a Friday night and enjoy a movie with a loved one, to get rid of the stress and anxiety of the day. It is a God's gift to us all, what you do and put up on the screen. So thank you.
Wait, right back at you. I mean, teachers,
Oh,
none of us walk or even are able to express and learn and be part of the community. Teachers, what you're doing, and the fact that I I obviously looked you up.
God.
Not just that you're a performer, the way you give back. It's one thing when people say, "Oh, I'm giving back," and you make light of it when you're like, "Oh, the survival job," but it's not, because you're helping kids survive. You're helping people, that even if it's one person, because our kids are being assaulted from every
Everything.
corner, where you can't disseminate the truth, and the rhetoric is so loud. And I don't know, I have a little boy,
Yep.
and I watch the information,
Yeah.
and teachers are gatekeepers at this point, because teachers are being attacked for just telling the truth. And it feels a little bit, do you remember the parable of the emperor's new clothes?
Oh, yes.
And I feel like we're living in those times.
Oh,
And
yes.
I keep looking up, but the emperor has no clothes. That's what it feels like. So we need teachers. We need people like you, voices like yours, that have lived, that are loved, that are leaning in, and not just saying it, but putting their money where their mouth is. And you know how we started this whole podcast, I was like, of course, yes, I would have done anything. I would have been like, you know what? Well, we'll do it from the car if we have to.
No, well, the same with you, and that's why I love getting this chance to talk to you, and I want people to see the movie No Mercy, so that we can have more movies. And then, if she makes more movies, then if she likes my music, maybe my song's gonna be in the next movie. I'm putting in the work. No, okay.
For all of
Shut
people
up,
that will be listening and watching,
Ella. I'm done with
our
you.
next film is called Absolution. We will be going into pre-production probably in the fall. I can promise you that I will have music by Robert Bannon in
No,
our
Ella.
watch. No, I
Okay.
said it. And everybody knows this one thing about me, even my child. If I say maybe, then it's maybe. If I say I promise,
I,
promise.
well, I'm a cheap date, so you don't have to worry about your budget for me. I'm just honored to be in the same room with you and be able to chat
Hold on,
with you.
I'm sending over the release right now.
Oh, perfect. Done. You have anything you want. Anything you want. That's a whole funny conversation about releases and everything. That's a whole
Music clearances are the reason why I have like
gray
white
hair.
hairs over here.
I had a fight with a company that has a lot of housewives on it about a song once, and I didn't even want anything. They just, people. That's a whole story, and I love that your music in your movie is going to be fantastic. I'm going to sit down this weekend. I'm going to watch your movie. The movie is called No Mercy, because I have a sneak peek, but you have to wait. You all have to wait, and you have to check it out. And it's going to come out. It's perfect. It's right after Valentine's Day. It's right in the cold, so snuggle up with your loved one. Can we follow you?
Yes, please do. I am on Instagram as Gaia Girl, GAIAGURL. It's a little like, called a little tribute to James Lovelock. his hypothesis, the Gaia hypothesis. I mean, can you and I just do this? Can you and
Yeah,
I just do this? It's like,
yes, forever. Would you like to just come and co-host a show with me one day?
we don't you tempt me with a good time.
I'm gonna make that happen. We're gonna do it because I'm gonna be your friend now. You're stuck with me. I'm
Oh,
gonna be your friend,
I
Ella.
got you beat because I'm already following you.
Hold on. I'm following you
Oh,
right now. Good
yeah.
night. All
I'm,
right.
I'm like, cute, so cute. I'm all
All
over
right.
it.
So when you see your Instagram later, it's gonna be like 100, like a stalker, 100 likes, and I'm just gonna give heart eyes and hearts and love and prayer hands and whoop whoop emojis everywhere.
Same. Same. Oh my God, are we besties now?
I was gonna say to you, can we be best friends?
I think we're gonna have
Are
to.
you in LA? Where are you?
I'm in LA, but you know what else? You did Last Dance, which is my karaoke song. Do you not know that?
Well, I do it every 54 below. We do Pride Party, and we end with Last Dance because that's a bop. Well, maybe I have to come to LA and do a
I
show
can't sing
again.
though. I
No,
only have like 1 octave range, so you're gonna have to carry us.
that's fine.
But I
Well,
lip sync like
you'll have to next time I have a self tape or a script. I'm gonna call you up to run lines because I'm gonna need your help because it's been a minute since I've acted, and that's
the
gonna.
the talent all
I'll
over
teach you to
all
sing.
undeniable. You're
I'll teach you to sing.
undeniable.
No, you are, and you're
You are.
stunning. Oh my God.
I'm like,
She's married, she's got kids. I'm married, but you are
like when I tell
beautiful.
you I have every light. It's, I mean, yeah, I can't lift it up. I'm just gonna send you a picture of what it
All
looks
right,
like
done. Well, can we
because
tell everyone, make sure to watch the movie so we can get more movies? And thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to spend time with you, and I can't wait for you to come back.
thank
We're
you
gonna
so
do
much
a whole
for
full
having
hour
me.
extravaganza.
It's like we're in this like round table. We're gonna take this thing to like the
We're
nightstand.
taking, yeah, let's go. Let's go. Hey.